Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by and welcome to Visual BI's webinar. Today, we will walk you through Learn Why Microsoft Power BI is an undisputed market leader. During the presentation, all participants will be in listen-only mode. If you have a question during the presentation, please submit it via the Q&A portion on the screen. Simply type the question into the box and click the send button. Our presenter will address the question at the end of the presentation, time permitting. If you don't hear an answer to your question today, don't worry. We will deliver answers to you individually after the webinar. The webinar is being recorded and a link to the replay will be sent to you via email. Presenting today is Satyanarayana Karthikeshwar. Satya is a BI solution developer at Visual BI Solutions. I will now turn the presentation over to the presenter.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Power BI webinar. In this webinar, we will be discussing and learning why Microsoft Power BI is an undisputed market leader in the BI enterprise market space. My name is Satyanarayana Karthikeshwar, BI Solutions Developer with Visual BI Solutions. I hope this webinar will give a clear understanding on why should organizations consider Power BI as a one-stop solution for all their BI reporting needs. Legal disclaimer. This webinar is strictly from Visual BI's point of view. Kindly note, the version of the tool being used may differ from your current system or that of your customer. This is the webinar agenda slide. On the first section, we will cover a brief discussion on Visual BI and its services, along with criteria that are considered for having a BI reporting solution. This is where we will see how Power BI fits in. On the second section, we will talk about Power BI and its various components as a BI reporting tool. In brief, we will then cover on Power BI Premium, Power BI Embedded, and Power BI Report Server, which is the on-premise offering from Microsoft Power BI. On the fourth section, we will discuss on the licensing and pricing for Power BI. We will then have an interesting session on the enterprise feature present in Power BI. The sixth section, we will see the SAP integration with Power BI, the various parameters that are considered for both SAP BW and SAP HANA. Seventh section, we will then make a comparison on Power BI with other competing BI tools on the market. This section will also involve comparison of Power BI Dataflows with that of Tableau Prep and Alteryx. We will then talk about Power BI Mobile, a free-to-download solution for sharing out your reports and dashboards. Finally, we will conclude with what parameters in consolidation make Power BI a standout, undisputed market leader tool, followed by a Q&A session. Let me introduce you to Visual BI. Visual BI Solutions is focused on delivering customer BI solution needs. We are specialized in BI and analytics, services, solutions, training, and products. We have a customer reach of more than 100 plus in number. Some of the most trusted customers like Walmart, Procter & Gamble, Epson, and Tech Data. We offer consulting services like giving governance setup, cloud migration, and training to get your employees up to scale to meet your BI solution needs. We have Gold partnership with Microsoft, Silver partnership with SAP, and also we are partnered with Snowflake and Looker. Our products XViz has been released out for Microsoft Power BI and SAP Lumira. Do check out these beautiful custom visuals which are developed and deployed onto the Microsoft market space for Power BI. Do check out ValCube, the self-service agile digital simulation tool for your planning and forecasting. ValCube has more than 10,000 plus customers trying the product just on Microsoft Power BI. So make sure you can also try the product and reach out to us to learn more about this amazing product. This is available on both SAP Lumira and Power BI. VBI View will be the one-stop view for having all your reporting solutions on. Do check them out and reach out to us to learn more. We have offered our training and consultation to more than 200 customers across the globe. This customer list approaching us is ever expanding. We will offer end-to-end BI enablement for your organization, starting from training to services. We have a strong COE community for all respective BI tools. There is emphasis on heavy research and understanding within the organization to keep all the employees on par with the latest technology trends and updates. Now, I will be explaining why watching this webinar will help you in understanding and considering Power BI as a BI solution that covers all spectrums of current business and future business needs. Now, let us talk about the definition and evaluation criteria. On placing Power BI as a market leader will be primarily based on this split. The the data, the visualization capabilities, the advanced capabilities, and how the tool helps in collaborating and sharing out the content. These are the primary criteria that make the tool an overall BI reporting solution. First, we will talk about the acquire parameter. This talks about the direct data source connectivity, on how many connectors are actually present within the tool and how flexible it is. Second, we will talk about the preparation of the data sets. This is the data prep layer. Third, we will talk about visualizing the components that are present within the tool. Some more like sort features or the chart types that are present. Within visualization, we also need to understand how best is exploring capabilities found, such as storyboarding, dashboards, and shapes and components. On the advanced features, we need to see how best the enhanced capabilities are present with the tool. Something like the Q&A, NLP, natural language processing, AI and ML, predictive analysis. Finally, when it comes down to sharing your reports to all your consumers, the collaboration features that are present with the tool. When we compare with other BI tools on the market, we clearly start checking on points like, can my reporting solution provide storyboarding, formatted reports, dashboards, and application? What does Power BI offer that the other tools do not? Power BI is equally placed in this competition when it brings out reporting and dashboarding capabilities. We can share our reports to a wider audience by creating apps. Report elements can be pinned onto the dashboard layout and be used. All this can be done with just a few point and click. Further analysis can also be done on this. This clearly shows that Power BI is an all-round tool when considering it for your enterprise solution for reporting. It all comes down to the fact that how Power BI can enable a business user to consume and use the tool with minimal involvement of IT. Usually, the broad spectrum of users that tend to consume such self-service tools are executive, managers, and business users. Can the tool accompany this wide persona of users within an enterprise? Yes, Power BI clearly brings in this with the help of Paginated Reports, Power BI reporting tool itself on the desktop. When it comes to IT involvement, Power BI is equipped with R and Python, DAX, and M usage. The AI and ML capabilities are some of the strongest points when we see Power BI. It has the ability to combine both formatted paginated reports along with your normal developed BI reports on Power BI. Power BI acts as a complete all-round solution and tool fulfilling the needs of both business and IT when and where the respective involvements are needed. Now, let us see the Gartner trend chart. We have compared for the last 5 years. Microsoft has continuously been on the leader quadrant when we compare the last 5 years. Microsoft has held this place and gradually developed itself to be the leading solution on the BI market. When we compare it with Tableau and SAC, Power BI has pushed ahead in terms of its cloud infrastructure, the Azure, with its capability of machine learning and big data consumption. AI and ML is surely the future, with cloud being the infrastructure option in focus. This makes Power BI a clear winner on this path. More than 95% of the Fortune 500 companies and more make use of Power BI as their reporting solution. We can clearly see the explosion chart and the usage chart on how well Power BI is used and scaled within organizations. We can still see Power BI user count growing till date. Now, let us talk about Power BI overview. I will be running through all the components within the Power BI and the Power BI service. We will see all this in a brief content. So, what is Power BI? It's an enterprise-level BI reporting solution provided by Microsoft. It can create complex yet simple to understand reports, dashboards, and applications for your organization to use. Power BI has inbuilt ETL capabilities with the use of Power Query to model your data. Supports more than 70 plus data sources, which ranges from big data to SAP system. We can see more data source connectors being added almost every month as releases for Power BI. The recent being Azure Cosmos DB, PostgreSQL Direct Query. Power BI has one of the best sharing and collaborating capabilities when it comes to comparison with other BI tools. We will discuss more about sharing and collaborating in the upcoming slides. To understand the high-level architecture of Power BI ecospace, we need to split the architecture to the following. First, let us see the Power BI desktop standalone, which is where we will be connecting our data from hundreds of data sources. This is where we will be posting out our reports and creating them. The second, the Power BI service, once the reports are built, we will then push the reports onto the cloud, the Power BI service. This is a shared cloud platform which, when used with a pro license, can be done. We can collaborate and share our reports using workspaces. Workspaces reside on the Power BI service, and this is where the real collaboration of the reports happen. Datasets are also created and pushed inside the Power BI service. We can add multiple users onto a workspace. Workspaces can be dedicated to a single user as my workspace, or can be a shared workspace. We then have the security, the Power BI gateway, which needs to be installed separately onto each organization system. The gateway will help in authenticating the users to log in to the database and connect the underlying data. We finally have the consumer devices on which reports and dashboards can be posted out. Reports can also be embedded to websites. This will be discussed in detail in upcoming slides. Power BI Mobile is a standalone application to view workspaces and reports. We can also use desktops to view such reports. Power BI offers some of the highest range of database connectors. We have dedicated connectors to SAP BW and SAP HANA system. We have the new 2.0 connector for SAP HANA, which has many improvements. Databases like Hadoop Spark, SQL, R, Python files can also be incorporated and consumed in Power BI. Power BI is a dedicated solution when it comes to its Azure database. It has dedicated connectors to the system being part of the Microsoft ecospace. We can also use simple connectors like Excel sheets, JSON files. It is also able to connect Google Drive data and directly pull it in. The last type of connectors would be connecting the data directly from websites too. To summarize, right from the small file like an Excel sheet to the large databases like big data, Power BI definitely has all the capabilities that a data acquisition needs. The ETL functionality in Power BI, the Power Query, is where most of the data cleansing, manipulation, and modeling tend to happen. The Power Query consumes the M language for all the tables that get pushed to be viewed on the Power BI system from the underlying database. We can connect to the data either in import mode, or we can directly take it from a direct query or a live connection. Power BI hosts a very powerful language called as DAX. This language could take time to master, but it's extremely powerful when it comes to manipulating and getting the data as we need on our columns and fields. Power BI clearly has a high view when it comes to manipulating the data to what we need it as. We can also make use of R and Python to shape our data. All basic calculations and aggregations are available with a click of a button to truly make this a BI self-servicing tool. It also has other functionalities like what-if analysis, group by, which you would expect in a BI reporting tool. Power BI also provides you with the flexibility to write and further manipulate your data with M language. This can be done using the advanced editor found inside. The visualization aspect of Power BI is extremely powerful. Power BI has both its standard visuals and also the custom visuals, which can be imported onto the Power BI report. Each visual has its own function and capabilities based on the type of visual type being chosen. We can do all functions like drilling through a data, making out hierarchy views. Power BI boasts a high number of custom visuals. We do have our own visual, the XViz, which can be found in the Power BI market space for download. Do check it out. The Power BI service is a cloud service offered by Microsoft Power BI. It is here that all the reports and dashboards get deployed on the cloud. We can take a separate copy of .pbix file of the report. When deployed on the workspace, the reports and datasets will be open for further consumption by other users who have access rights. We need to note that access rights will be provided by the pro user who's creating the workspace for further collaboration. The big data consumption using Azure Data Gen Lake 2 happens. Power BI service opens further options such as the Dataflow, and this is where Azure Data Gen Lake 2 takes place. We can make use of Azure ML, which will be discussed in upcoming slides. Power BI service acts as a central repository for all your devices consuming Power BI reports via Power BI Mobile, which is a free-to-use tool. Now, let us talk about Power BI Premium and the usage of Power BI Premium in your organization. Power BI Premium is the optional solution offered by Microsoft when you want to consider using dedicated capacity for your reporting solution. Power BI Premium is being offered on both on-premise and cloud facility. The on-premise helps organization to maintain the reports and datasets within the firewall of the organization. Power BI Report Server is placed in contrast with this. We will be discussing about Power BI Report Server in upcoming slides. For Power BI Premium, this brings in facility for admins to place in capacity loads depending on the need of the workspace. This flexibility offers great advantage when you want reports to perform optimally and with high performance. When we consume large datasets, the need for more memory becomes a high requirement. Power BI Premium helps with this fact and enables business users to consume and use reports with highest quality and with no performance degrade. Some of the features in Power BI tend to require the usage of premium capacity to function. Sharing and creating paginated reports is one such usage. When we need to refresh more data than a normal pro user license can consume, this advantage of Power BI Premium comes into picture. When we are using apps to deploy our reports, free users, if they want to view the reports through apps, need the use of Power BI Premium. Various compliance features like bring your own key, BYOK, and multi-geo distribution of your premium capacity can be done. The dedicated cloud resource is the biggest advantage over here. Organizations always have the option to migrate to cloud from on-premise when needed. Power BI Premium initially starts with $4,995 per month. Power BI Premium, as mentioned, offers the dedicated capacity usage. Some organizations which have a larger user base for report consumption need to move to Power BI Premium. It becomes mandatory when you do not want to lose performance on your reports. When there is no Power BI Premium enabled, you are on a shared capacity with other users. This provides high lag on report usage, and refreshing the datasets tend to take longer. Flexibility to license as per the capacity of code taken. This is one of the key selling points for Power BI Premium. N number of users can consume if the capacity provided can hold. Storage of 100 TB is provided. This can be scaled up as needed for organization's architecture. Premium capacity can be shared with other geolocations to your organization. This flexibility becomes very useful when users from other locations need to use reports with high performance. Power BI Premium is mandatory when it comes for larger organizations which want to consume reports on Power BI service. Now, let us talk about Power BI Embedded and where would Embedded help us. Power BI enables users to embed their reports on websites and applications. Power BI Embedded is a great feature when you want to distribute your reports to a larger audience under a single platform. We will have full capabilities in terms of using visuals, both tool-built and also custom visuals. Usage of REST APIs to enable functionalities in your embedded reports. You can also consume Q&A for your reports. Embedding with JavaScript SDK and also work with Visual Studio is possible. Row-level security is maintained on these reports. Ability to close the usage when reports are not needed and turn them back on as needed. You pay as little as $1 for your analytics, and this is one of the best selling points for Power BI Embedded. Couple of features in Power BI are parsing and starting your embedded capacity as you need. Ability to make use of admin metrics to view your loads. Usage of REST APIs for your reports. Ability to embed paginated reports onto your Power BI reports. Custom visuals can be consumed. Authentication tends to happen via Azure AD. We have a separate admin cockpit for the premium and embedded usage consumption check. This helps the admin check and understand the performance health of cores and usage of cores. Now, let us talk about Power BI Report Server, which is the on-premise solution offered by Microsoft Power BI. The on-premise version of Power BI solution, this central repository will host all the reports created. This is a standalone application that can be installed from a Microsoft Store, which comes as a license when purchasing Power BI Premium. This can be installed within the organization's firewall. Any reporting and datasets that are created will be placed within the organization and consumed among the resources. This can be accessed via any web browser. We have the option to deploy the reports that are created using Power BI Desktop for Report Server. Report server and Power BI service usage have a lot of difference when it comes to using certain functionalities. Many of the major functionalities found with Power BI service cannot be used when using the solution as a report server. Some of the common features like paginated reports, custom visuals can still be used. Our Python visuals cannot be done here. Features like analyze in Excel just cannot be done on the on-premise level. When we come to the deployment of reports, app consumption is not possible on the report server. Advanced functionalities like Q&A cannot be used on report server model. Quick insights, content packs are not done. Some of the preview features which can be found on the Power BI service will not be found on the report server mode. It takes a lot of time for these functionalities to be incorporated onto the on-premise version. Now, let us talk in detail about the licensing and pricing of the Power BI model. When we see the licensing part, Power BI has 4 types of licenses: the Power BI Desktop, the Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, and Power BI Report Server. When we talk about Power BI Desktop, we can install this free desktop tool. This is strictly a desktop-only tool. We have the free Pro trial license that can be used to understand all the features that Pro tends to offer. This Pro trial is for a 90-day gap. The only method for free users to view reports is via an app that is backed by premium capacity. When it comes to a Pro license, there is the capability of sharing reports. Pro users will be the main report creators, and workspaces created by Pro users can be collaborated with other Pro users. These then allow the other users to use and consume the datasets and reports based on their access level in the workspace. Pro license stands at $9.99 per month per user. Power BI Premium is the on-premise offering from Microsoft. This can be placed as the on-premise or hosted completely on the cloud. The decision of choosing if cloud or within the company's firewall is within the organization's understanding. We need to understand that the resource of hardware and maintenance of the hardware are completely handled by Microsoft when we see this as a cloud solution. Now, let us talk about the capacity node comparison. Premium comes with different SKU nodes depending on the need of the organization. This chart will give a brief idea on which SKU node we need to go with depending on the architecture of the organization and the number of user count. EM represents the embedded nodes. These can't be purchased directly. P represents the premium nodes used also for embedding with other service features also. When it comes to the Azure, we have the hourly billed ones which stands with the A1 to A6. CPU limits no more than 6, 12 to 24 refreshes, which runs in parallel. If too many queries are running on one core, new queries wait. Memory limits and evictions no more than 25 to 100 GB of total memory consumption. Evictions, when new reports is requested and there is no memory available, capacity will evict to the earliest load inactive dataset and make room. Now let us just see this comparison on Power BI Free versus Pro. When we see the free, it is a free tool, but we do not need to pay, but we do have some of the features which can be tested, and this gives us an advantage and an analysis that whether we can move to Pro when needed. But on the concept of no sharing and no collaboration can be done. But when as for the Pro, we do have all the features that are being offered by Power BI. We do need to note that apps is one way where even free users can consume, but apps need to be backed up by premium capacity to be done so. When it comes to a Pro user and that user of Pro when backed up with premium, so the maximum storage will always remain to 10 GB per user, even though premium is offering 100 TB capacity. The maximum auto refresh from 8 will move to 48 when moved to premium. The compute processing will be shared for a normal Pro user, but for a premium, it will be dedicated capacity. Usage of paginated reports is possible for a Pro user, but this cannot be shared. This will need premium capacity to be happening so. Pricing of Pro happens for $9.99 per user per month, whereas the premium is the base model of $4,995 per month plus Pro licenses. Now let us talk about the interesting section, that is the enterprise features in Power BI. Power BI is a unified enterprise platform. This is justified on the fact that Power BI has the capabilities on all levels, from the data preparation to creating semantic models, data exploration done via app reports, enterprise reports achieved through Paginated Reports, the governance formed with Power BI, and the AI capabilities through visuals, the Ask and Know feature for NLP. Power BI Desktop offers the base on which reports can be created. Power BI Service helps with all the features that pushes the reports and dashboards with further insights. We should recall our previous slide where we talk about the definition and evaluation criteria. We will now explore each part of the unified enterprise platform now. Power BI data flow creation is the data prep which is available with Power BI. This makes use of Power Query to enable the data manipulation functions. Consumes Azure Data Gen Lake 2 for storing and using data. The common data model is a feature that helps in easy structuring of data. This helps in creating a standard set of data flows called as entities in the Power BI service. This can be consumed by multiple users who have access to the data flow. Data flows can be created from multiple sources and can be cross-joined with one another. The compute engine helps with the process to scale up petabyte data. We can then directly consume data flows on reports and create other datasets on top of it. Power BI brings in a fantastic feature that truly puts in the setup of data governance. Certified datasets is the answer to that. Through certified datasets, we can now endorse the datasets to find the true origin of data. This helps organizations to understand the truth in data. Tenant setting needs to be provided to the user with the ability to endorse datasets to either push them to promoted or certified. This will help senior managers to take quick calls on which dataset needs to be moved and consumed. We are expecting to see data flow certification to come up soon as an update for Power BI. Lineage view helps users to track their dataset consumption from the point of origin. This helps users to save a lot of time when it comes to checking issues on datasets. In case there is a failure, issues can now be backtraced instead of always starting from the initial data acquisition part. Sometimes there might be an issue with a newly created dataset from another user on top of the original dataset created by the original real user. Lineage view comes in handy at this point, a fantastic feature that must be tried to understand. Paginated Reports is the pixel-perfect reporting solution powered by Microsoft, which directly competes with tools like Web Intelligence from SAP. This is a standalone tool that can be downloaded and used. We must note that Paginated Reports can now be used by a single pro user without the need for premium capacity usage. But there is a constraint, with no possibility to share the Paginated Reports across. This will need definitely the premium capacity if this has to happen. We can also incorporate our Paginated Reports in our Power BI reports now. We can easily export the reports to PDFs and CSV files. When it comes to machine learning and Power BI, we have a separate interface where we can load the dataset and train the model. Power BI is clearly ready in terms of machine learning consumption. This is one of the biggest advantages when it comes to other BI reporting tools on the market. Machine learning is integrated seamlessly in Power BI. We can train models on our own and then apply the models onto our reporting. Power BI Service has a direct connection to Azure platform, and this makes the use of this feature very well. It helps with image and text analysis, predictive analytics. One such visual that directly consumes such analysis is a key influencer, which is present in Power BI desktop tool itself. Machine learning, if business users cannot create them to create and train a model from scratch, they can directly use this key influencer, which is present in Power BI desktop, and build their reports. XMLA endpoint connectivity. Through this, we can connect our Power BI dataset to even third-party tools like Tableau. This currently only provides a read-on option. Manipulation of the underlying data is currently not possible. We are expecting to see read-write options in the future updates. Now, let us talk on one of the strongest points for Power BI when it's integrated with its Microsoft suite. The Microsoft Flow, the Azure system, the Power Apps, and Dynamics 365. When it comes to the integration of Power BI on an enterprise level, the Power Suite comes up. The first one we will be checking is on the Powerflow. Powerflow is a solution from Microsoft to simplify your automation process. This can be easily done even without IT intervention. Simple tasks like getting email alerts and approving your datasets to be refreshed can all be done using Powerflow. Power BI is seamlessly integrated and connected well with Powerflow in terms of automating the process. We have different approaches when it comes to automating the process done within the organization. Powerflow simplifies all this with simple GUI interface that is a simple click, drag and drop. We have tons of features that are present with Powerflows and a lot of combinations that can be tried out. Do check this out. As said, it's quite easy to create a flow and integrate them with the Power BI reports and applications. This helps organizations to be more effective and have a more structured approach of viewing data with the latest content. Powerflow in combination with Power BI and Power Apps truly make this a powerful combination that organizations can make use of. The big data in Power BI is consumed with the help of Azure Data Services. We initially start creating data flows from the Power BI service. This is directly placed in contrast to the Azure Data Lake Storage of Gen 2, where all the data is pulled in. With the use of Common Data Model, we will be able to structure out Power BI data flows. This data flows is then pushed for data warehousing. We can also train these models in Azure ML for prediction analysis. Further advanced data preparation can also be done using Azure Databricks. Finally, we can consume and combine all these features on data for reports, dashboards using Power BI. Power BI has a dedicated connector to the Dynamics 365, which is the ERP solution from Microsoft. We will be able to access all the different modules in Dynamics 365 and retrieve their data flows to our Power BI reports. Power BI also is able to embed reports directly into each Dynamics 365 module respectively. We can cross-integrate Powerflow and Power Apps onto Power BI consuming Dynamics 365. This truly makes it a killer position. Power Apps is another application in the Power Suite. This helps in providing direct write activity through the Power BI report itself. We will need to create the visual from the Power Apps application and then load it onto Power BI report. Visuals once done in Power Apps can be found as a custom visual in Power BI. This can be imported and used. You will be able to create forms from Power Apps and then place this inside Power BI with the fields from your dataset. This will create fields that can act as a direct write back to the Power BI report. The report will now update the values on the dataset. Power BI will automatically refresh and get the visuals in alignment to the values that are newly added now. We will need to note that Power Apps does not support Power BI Mobile at the moment. When it comes to sharing and collaborating content, no other BI solution does it better than Microsoft Power BI. Power BI has the capability to share out content to multiple applications. This can vary from a single user to a group of users trying to view the report. SharePoint integration is a standard feature that is present with Power BI. We can also share and showcase our reports onto Microsoft Teams. When it comes to a single user, we can directly share the report on the workspace as an application, which can be then viewed from the Power BI mobile app. When it comes to a larger audience, for even outside users, Power BI Embedded is your choice. Now, let us make a check on the three BI tools, Power BI, Tableau, SAP and Analytics Cloud. We have checked these parameters very intensively and charted out the points for each of the category. Let us also recall the fact that on the first evaluation and definition criteria that makes the BI tool of the market to which to be considered for your organization. We can see that with Power BI, most of the data connectors are available. Power BI currently connects to 70 plus data sources. We still do not have SAP Unix in Power BI, whereas almost all the other data sources are definitely available. Tableau is also well placed in this position. SAP Analytics Cloud still needs to catch up. When it comes to the data preparation, the modeling part, Power BI is clearly having all the features enabled. This clearly makes it a clear winner on the modeling side. When it comes to the visualization and exploration, the chart extension is something that Tableau is still placed on the beta phase, whereas Power BI definitely has various number of custom visuals that are already kept in the Microsoft Marketplace. Power BI is definitely a clear winner when it comes to formatted reports, which is in direct comparison to Tableau, which has to be having as a workaround to get it done. Some of the basic features, sharing and collaboration, Power BI is definitely and surely a winner, with almost all the parameters being ticked out. Power BI is the one tool that can definitely be relied on for sharing and collaboration. When it comes to the technology-driven or the IT-driven capabilities, Power BI is definitely way ahead. Only in terms of the version management, which can be done through a workaround. This is not a direct feature that is yet applicable in Power BI. All the other features are definitely available in Power BI. When we see advanced analytics, Power BI is yet again the sure winner. Its R integration and Python integration with its both visuals respectively are definitely the high points. Basic augmented analytics, when we consider it with HoloLens, is surely the future. Power BI is definitely leading in this term when we consider it with Tableau and SAP Analytics. This is a definite space that has to be seen in the near future as to how Tableau and SAP Analytics Cloud will compete with Power BI. So finally, when we conclude the entire result, we clearly see that Power BI is a clear winner on each and every feature, let it be on the self-service BI, the traditional BI, or the modern BI. Power BI is the one tool which all organizations can definitely look up to and integrate them as the BI reporting solution platform. When it comes to data governance, we do have the single sign-on via the Kerberos and SAML. We do have data sets that have been certified as a certified dataset or a promoted dataset. Security as an addition can be added on to Excel sheets. When we see this with Tableau, it does have SSO and also certified datasets, whereas SAP Analytics Cloud on the certified dataset part is yet to catch up. Now, let us talk about SAP integration with Power BI. We'll talk about the BW connectivity parameters and the SAP HANA connectivity parameters. When we compare Power BI and SAP parameters, we need to first understand that we have two connections. First is the direct query connection, then the other type is the import. We have two connectors, the 1.0 and the 2.0. It is recommended that we make use of 2.0 as it's the updated and has better performance compared to the 1.0 MDX connection. Power BI clearly performs really well in terms of the live connectivity, whereas the import, which takes the instance of the data, does have some features which are blocked out. Tableau is definitely doing very well when compared to Power BI on the import level. When we see other features, live is still yet being done really well on the SAP BW. Import still has certain fluctuations in terms of the BEX functionalities. We do see changes on values when pulled from the BEX to Power BI. Now, seeing for the SAP HANA, we have most of the features and it is really performing well when compared to the BW. SAP BW and HANA connectors are pretty dedicated in Power BI. It is equally in competition with Tableau and SAC. SAC will definitely perform well in these terms. Some of the other features will be shown out over here. Power BI is yet to check and some improvements are still needed on the HANA connectors. Tableau and SAC is no further behind, but still, SAC will definitely take the lead as being the in-house tool for SAP HANA and SAP BW. Now, let us talk about Power BI Dataflows versus Tableau Prep versus Alteryx. So, when we see the Dataflows, it is pretty clear that all the basic functions for Power BI Dataflow and Tableau Prep and Alteryx are all present, such as joins, union, pivot, lookup, and filtering. Group by Python integration are present, whereas Tableau Prep definitely lacks on the Python and R integration. When it comes to other features like grouping by phonetics and regular expression, Power BI Dataflows are yet to see this part. Tableau Prep is definitely a little bit behind in terms of the parameters when compared with Dataflows and Alteryx. So, when we see it in terms of Dataflows for a pro and a premium user, yet again the 10 GB per user standalone or a standard storage is present. Data ingestion happens serial for a pro user, but when not backed with premium. But on a premium, it's parallel ingestion. Incremental updates cannot happen for a normal pro user. Calculation engine is not applicable. It will definitely need the use of premium capacity. Refresh rates is 8 times a day for a pro user. When backed up with the premium capacity, it turns to 48 times a day. Let us now talk about Power BI Mobile. Its basic features, unique features, and the authentication mechanism. We'll also check on some of the other features offered in Power BI Mobile. Power BI Mobile is a standalone tool that is free for download. We will only need a Power BI account to view these reports on mobile. When the user deploys the reports on workspaces in the Power BI service, these are automatically shown on the Power BI mobile app. Offline viewing of reports and dashboards are still possible. Custom visuals can also be seen on Power BI Mobile. QR codes can be scanned to view these reports on the Power BI mobile app. Power BI supports a standard mobile view template, which can be used from the Power BI tool itself. This will be clearly visible from a normal standard report view. Power BI clearly adopts and makes use of all these features to consumers who can use Power BI Mobile to view their reports. When it comes to unique features, we need to understand that Power BI is applicable on Android, iOS, Microsoft OS, HoloLens, and browser. It has a complete connectivity to all these devices. It makes use of machine learning features also through key influencer visual, which is really great. Scanning of QR codes and barcodes can be done. Augmented reality is one of the best features when we compare it with HoloLens to Power BI. This is a great contrast to both the tools. Annotating your reports is one of the greatest features in Power BI Mobile. When it comes to the authentication, Microsoft Intune is a standalone application that can be installed to Power BI Mobile. We can enable PIN code usage, specifying the maximum number of attempts that can be made. We still have all the Power BI service authentications that happen for Power BI Mobile. Comparing other features, we do have for the security the PIN and the SSO. Biometric scan is something yet that will be coming up in future updates. Alerts, push notifications do happen. Key influencer viewing of paginated reports and custom charts is one of the best features when we see for Power BI Mobile. Devices supported are laptops, tablets, mobile, and even watches. So when we see about the costing and pricing variation, so we are comparing Power BI to Tableau Online and SAP Analytics Cloud. So for a single user, which will start with a free user, Power BI is definitely the part of choice. When it comes to a smaller organization, yet again, for a total number of user count to 10, Power BI is surely the solution that organizations must take up. When it comes to a medium organization, it is noted that SAC is definitely a solution that can be considered to Power BI. For a larger organization, Power BI is no doubtedly the solution that organizations must definitely take up in terms of pricing. So when we analyze the Forrester's Wave, it was clearly reported in their notes that you no longer need to shy about Microsoft Power BI. It's a killer platform. This is definitely true in all the parameters that we have checked. Power BI is definitely leading the competition. It has leapfrogged this competition, to say. Forrester definitely recommends Power BI. So when we talk about the BI market evolution, Microsoft is a complete full stack, right from its Office to Dynamics 365 ERP and the Power BI report tool itself to the automation of Power Apps and Power Flows, making use of machine learning through Azure ML and the Azure data. When we compare it with other solutions like from Google Cloud, Salesforce, and AWS, Microsoft is really killing the competition with all the full stack completely placed in. When we compare it with other organizations to Microsoft and Power BI, it is pretty clear that it's a complete standalone for Microsoft. All the other tools or companies which are acquiring these tools to directly put out a competition to Power BI now. Power BI is definitely leading this point and is standing out alone as a leader market. So why do we choose Power BI? Why is Power BI leading this? It is pretty clear that the cloud BI, machine learning, and AI are the biggest strong points when considering Power BI. Power BI is surely and definitely in the future and is already ready for the future in terms of the next 5 years. Power BI is a killer platform when it comes to this. We do offer self-service BI evaluation for all basic tools. You can request for a free assessment on Tableau, Power BI, and SAP, ClickSense, TIBCO Spotfire, SQL Server, MicroStrategy. Please do reach out to us. We are now open for the Q&A session. Please do post out your questions and I will answer them in the time provided gap. So we do have one question that has come up, that is, what is recommended SSO implementation for Power BI on SAP connectivity? So definitely on the SAP connectivity level, it is pretty clear that we can make use of Kerberos and SML. These are the two methods that are recommended by Power BI itself. Implementing these solutions to your organization is something that we must first check and then make use of. Kerberos and SAML each have their own process and steps that need to be taken care. When it comes to, the second question is, Power BI free user can view reports from pro user developed reports. Yes, Power BI free users can definitely use this when they are backed up with premium capacity, Have you done parameter testing for BW and HANA on what was shown on the slides only? We have done integration testing on more than 120 parameters for each of BW and HANA respectively. Please do get in touch with us and we will provide out more information on this. So when we see for the embedded capacity, this cannot be directly purchased, but this can be purchased when the premium capacity is brought in. Embedded capacity cannot be purchased separately. Yes, we have a question telling, do we have the free license and how long or what is the trial period for the free license to a pro user? It is a 90-day free trial that can be used, after which you need to purchase it at $9.99 per month. Yet again, thank you for attending this webinar. Please do post out your questions and we will be answering them back through emails to you. Rest assured. Thank you so much.